Good afternoon, Muffin Wallopers. I am solo. Don't worry, Amanda and I haven't fallen out. I just wanted to do it on my own this week, just to try it, just be something different, you know. So it is the day before Paddy's Day, Paddy's Eve, if you will, and I couldn't be less excited about it. Paddy's Day, not a big thing for me, to be fair. Don't know about the rest of you, but, you know, whatever you're doing, enjoy it. So this week, I suppose this is just a wee catch up on how the podcast is going so far. So thank you to everybody who has listened to it. I'm actually quite surprised at the amount of people who have listened to it. And it's very pleasantly surprising. Yeah, it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad, especially to think of the whole YouTube thing, because I can't think of anything worse than watching me on the telly. And a few people have sent me screenshots and photos of them watching the podcast on their telly in the house. That is weird, and you need to have a look at yourself, I think. Tellies are for Coronation Street and Eurotrash, not for overweight lesbians and their straight friends talking about murderers and AI fruit dramas. But you know what? I'm not going to knock it. Let you at it. Whatever you enjoy. If it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. So thank you to everybody who has tuned in. It's a bit of a larf. I've got a couple of guests coming up. Hopefully this day next week I'll be recording with Mickey Bartlett and Anne-Marie Wallace from Radio Ulster. That should be a hoot, actually. I'm going to enjoy that one. And then Dave Elliott is coming up the road as well. He's the Sly guy himself, is going to make an appearance as well. Hopefully that's going to be, I have a vision of that being a true crime / 90s boy band chat. That should be fun. And obviously Darren, we need to get Darren involved as well, but he's a hard guy to pin down. We need to get him on the go too. Did I ask Shane Todd? I did. Did he ignore me? He did. No, he didn't. But, you know, who knows? But if you have any suggestions for guests, please fire them this way and we can see what we can do. Rachel from Traders, I've submitted my request into her. Still no word back. You know, just shows you. Just because you went to school together doesn't mean you're besties. You know, whatever. So I put up, I did one of those things, you know, these anonymous question things. It's called Not Gonna Lie. It's an app. So whenever you hit the link, you can ask an anonymous question through Instagram. I put that up last night and got a few questions back. One was very strange. Now, because I'm obviously filming on my phone, I don't have the actual details to hand. But it was something, right, so ask a question. The question was, would you rather ride a dog and for nobody to know, ever, or not ride a dog but being known forevermore as someone who ride a dog? Like, I can't even imagine what goes through people's heads. It's also a very good question. And I don't have an answer for it because, as you know, I'm a dog owner. And it's weird. And it also made me think of a very sad thing that happened. Sad / it's not funny. It's embarrassing. This is the most embarrassing thing I think could ever happen to anyone ever. A completely avoidable situation, by the way. So in like 2008, you can look this up, down in Limerick, I think it was in Limerick, a lady was in the company of a gentleman that she'd met on the internet. Now, I'm going to guess that, you know, internet wouldn't have been as prolific as it is now. But long story short, they had a bit of crack online, bit of racy talk. And then it went from that to, do you want to come over and have sex with my Alsatian? Could have been a German Shepherd. Not entirely sure what the difference is. But anyway, long story short, again, she went to his house and she did indeed have sex with the Alsatian / German Shepherd. And she took an anaphylactic shock to the dog, and she died. So, you know, there is like court reports about that. So have a wee Google if you want to, just so I can prove that I'm, you know, telling the truth. But yeah, I mean, completely avoidable, embarrassing situation. And this lady had offspring, not puppies. She was stress that she had actual real life human children who obviously attended the inquest and stuff like that. And I always think to myself, like, imagine going out on a date with one of those kids, like later on in life, and when you do the old chat. So where'd you go to school? Where'd you grow up? Tell me about your mum and dad. And having to be like, well, my ma now has passed away, etc. How embarrassing. But anyway, good crack. And no, I think I'd rather just be known as the person who did ride a dog. There is a girl somewhere about the town who apparently ate dog shit for a fiver. Now that could be true or it could not be true, but it's one of those urban legends that's always went around. So, I don't know. Maybe she did do it, maybe she didn't. But she's got the name of it anyway, so she's may have well done it. Well, and then a fiver was a fiver back in the day. Do you remember, does anybody remember we used to do this thing on Snapchat back in the day? It was basically just called Do It for a Fiver. Myself and Amanda and Amy, who worked in the shop at that time as well, did this thing called Do It for a Fiver, where we would just dare each other to do something rank for a fiver. But to be fair, it was a fiver each, so you got a tenner out of it. High points included Amanda trying to eat a teaspoon of cinnamon. So there's video evidence of that. Didn't go down well. She didn't get her fiver. She did a wee puff of cinnamon and choked on it. Amy locked into it. She locked into it big time. She once ate. We hollowed out. We took all the nice gloopy stuff out of a cream egg and replaced it. So the fondant is fondant, isn't it? We took that out, discarded it, and replaced it with brown sauce. And sealed the egg back up again and gave it to her. And she fucking ate it. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. Yeah, good times. There was a lot of highbrow activities went on in that place, now that I come to think of it. So other questions were, the main questions, there was 3 or 4, all of the same ilk. And that was around, when are you doing more shows? Are the comedy shows coming back to Newry? When are you putting on shows? So that's a me and Darren question. So it's a pity that Darren isn't actually here for that. You know what? It's hard, lads. It's so hard. It's hard getting a good venue in the town. And when I say that, I mean somewhere that is, big, but not too big. Because then if it's really big, you have to fill it. And that can be difficult because there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's hard to get a good quality, like medium-sized venue, basically. That's free, that isn't already been used for functions and stuff. And yeah, so that's the hardest. That is actually the hardest part. Then if you say you do have that, then it's about getting the acts. And because there's so much going on, there's all, like, comedy is really successful at the minute in the north and in the south as well. Although I've never been down there yet, as if it's like in Iraq or somewhere. I've only ever done a couple of gigs down in Dundalk. So Mocara is on a Thursday night. I think it's like monthly. So they have a big space out the back where they have acts on. So that's actually really good. So I've done it twice. Shane and Willie were down at it. And Paddy McDonald was down. I think Chris Kent might be coming down for that too. I'm not sure. So you have that. Anyway, yes, so because comedy is flat out, basically, and there's so much different stuff on, it can be difficult to get acts because they're busy, because you've got Lavery's on Wednesday and Thursday, you've got the Empire on a Tuesday up in Belfast, then you've got all the wee like satellite ones, you've got the Terrace in Macrofelt, you've got Daly's in Oma, you've got the Boiler Room in Strabane. The Banville are starting to do nights as well in Banbridge too. So that's maybe more of a monthly thing. But there's just, sometimes it's hard to get acts to go around. So long story short, yes, there are going to be gigs happening, hopefully in summertime. Obviously we've been doing stuff in Warren Point as well. It's a great vibe, I have to say. Although taxis and that sort of stuff for the Newry heads, difficult. It is difficult as hell. But we will be back down there in the summertime as part of the Ulster Fla, fingers crossed. So that'll be down in the Whistledown. That's exclusive by TW. Exclusive. So we need to do that. We need a venue. Basically, we do need a venue. And my great dream of winning the Euro Millions and buying Ginger Jane's, which for anybody who isn't from Newry is a pub venue type place in Newry. That's gone to the wayside because they are reopening, or they reopened last weekend. So it's obviously off the market, and I still haven't won the Euro Millions. So we're going to have to put a pin in that. Having said that, this Saturday night, so I don't know when, well, you might see this out, Newry Arts Festival is on, and the council are putting on a show in the town hall. And I think the town hall will be closing in April for refurbishment, a full 2 years after they said it was going to. But anyway, and Paddy Raff's headlining that. Willie Thompson's down for it as well. I think Diona is down too. I'm not sure. Sean Haggerty and myself. So I'm doing a wee spot at it. Yeah, so that's on. So yeah, the want is there, but it's getting things to marry up as well. So hopefully keep your eyes peeled for the next for the stuff. What am I talking about? Yeah, keep an eye on my socials, right? Have an eye on that. Also, I am still dallying with the idea of doing a tour myself. See Ro Boyle's doing one. And if you see, Ro's been down here a couple of times. Big, good-looking guy. He's been down. I think he did Finnegan and Son, and he did a couple of other gigs with us down here. I think he's in the town hall as well. I'm not sure. Ro's a great guy, so he's doing that. So I'm sort of thinking, yeah, maybe I should do that. And that's been on the back burner for a while, possibly because I don't have the balls to do these things. Because, to be honest, I never really thought of being a comedian before until it just sort of happened. So anybody that used to go to the gigs in McCooey's whenever it was a cafe will remember that kind of, happening, and me doing a wee bit of MCing and stuff, and it's been talked to death. But no, I never really saw myself as being a stand-up comedian, but it's kind of happened. And, I don't have anything else going on. Well, I do. I have things going on. But, yeah, people seem to be enjoying the crack. I don't know. Maybe there's something endearing about having a self-deprecating culty lesbian on stage, essentially ripping the dick out of herself. There's a joke to be made there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let that one sit. You can do that in the comments if you want. Yeah. So I'm looking at doing that. I need to write. I need to write stuff, and I've never really written anything before, because, as you know, I just tell stuff that's happened down through the years that's been funny, or I think it's funny anyway, or it's objectively humiliating, which is also a good thing to do. So I need to start writing stuff, but it's hard to know what to write about. Look, how do you start? You just write a story of your life, and just do it that way. I'm not too sure, but I have a few ideas, and I might just do it for the crack. So yeah, if there's anywhere, if anybody's listening to this and there's somewhere you want me to go to, I'll do that. If you get me a venue. That sounds very fucking arsey. But yeah, it's probably a good time to be excuse me, a female comedian, a woman comedian, a girl comedian, whatever. Because there's a lot of talent at the minute. So we've got the likes of Diona, Serena Terry, obviously, is huge. Diona, Serena, Teresa Livingston, who is fucking fantastic. You've got the likes of Emma Doran, Joanne McNally, all up there, like stratospheric. Then you've got like the likes of Emer Maguire and people. So it's it's maybe a good time to be a lady comedian. Although I don't know if I am a female comedian or not. Obviously I am. I've got the working parts, but I don't know. I think I don't talk about periods and babies or anything like that. That's very 1980s opinion on that, isn't it? It's very Bernard Manning of me to say that that's all like a female comedian would talk about. But you know what I mean? The perception of that is it's all, maybe girls and Prosecco and talking about how shitty men are, but we still love them and stuff. I don't really fall into that category. Maybe I'm overthinking it. That's a good point. So another question that came in was, are you still doing Be Heard therapy? Yes, I am. I went back to school in 2021, round about that, and went through SRC. I did some counselling courses there, and then worked my way up to like the foundation degree, which is what you need to have basically to qualify as an integrative counsellor. So that's what I am, and I speak to you here from my counselling room, which is doubling as a podcast studio. The dizzy heights of the Wynn Industrial Estate here in Newry, which I have to say is fantastic. So yes, I have my wee room, and I suppose it's hard to gauge size and stuff when you're looking at it like this. This is a map of the London Underground, which I had in my cafe, and I absolutely loved, because obviously I have a weird hard-on for the London Underground and the style of it all, like the graphic design and stuff. So I like that. So that's there. And I have my certificates up here, and I have like an introspective picture on the wall of a tree that I took, which is halfway up a mountain, not a mountain, probably a large hill, outside Newtown Hamilton. So I have that, and I have a couple of wee other things in here. So yeah, I am doing therapy, counselling. And I think some people are like, they don't really get it. They're like, what do you mean? Oh, you're not doing the comedy anymore. There's this weird thing. I don't know if it's an Irish thing or a Northern Irish thing. No offence to anybody who doesn't like that term. Or if it's a rural culture thing. But people like you, they want to know what you are. What are you? I'm a nurse. I'm a teacher. I'm a doctor. I'm a cook. I'm, whatever. They're like, all right, okay. But if you do more than one thing, it seems to confuse people. So I suppose myself, I'm a counsellor. I also work in a shop, which is McCooey's shop on the Calman Road, which is a family business. I work in there. I do comedy. I also do photography. I can't say that properly. Anyway, I take photographs. So I do weddings sometimes, or I do like events, or portraiture, stuff like that. If somebody's looking headshots done, I do a bit of that as well. And it really confuses people, because whenever they meet you at a wedding or something, they'll be like, "Oh, is this what you're at now, McCooey?" And I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm. And I've talked about this before on the last time I tried to do a podcast. People, it blows their mind a wee bit, where they're like, "Are you not doing the counselling anymore?" And I'm like, "Oh, I am, yeah." "Oh, right. And you do this too?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm currently doing that." "Oh, Jesus, sir, you'll be at something yet." And then if you see them in the shop or something like that, you'd be like, "Oh, did you quit the counselling?" or blah, 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 blah. It's like you're only allowed to have one thing that you can be. So it's not really what you do, it's what you are, which is kind of annoying, but I suppose I do get it in a way. But it's amusing to see the source of confusion that there is whenever somebody is like trying to get their head around the fact that you can do more than one thing, as a job. But I don't tend to talk about the counselling thing too much online anyway. I am called Be Heard Therapy, because that's the way I look at the sort of journey of counselling and therapy, is that it's all, the whole point is to be heard, and a lot of people don't feel heard, maybe within their relationships, within their family dynamic, in work, in the workplace, maybe, even to themselves, they don't feel that they're heard. They might have, difficulties that's been going on, and it's maybe hard to know, not even to put your own point across, but even to come to terms with what your point is. So that's the way that I look at it, is that whenever you come into the room here, or I also work online as well, which is very effective too, that whenever you're in that relationship with any counsellor, and the relationship is a good relationship, that you feel heard and you feel understood. And the reason I say that, if it's a good relationship, not all counselling relationships are good. I myself have had counselling in the past where I just didn't vibe with the counsellor, and that's no fault on their behalf, and it's no fault on mine either. It's just it's one of those things, because at the end of the day, it's two human beings in a room who both have personalities, and you don't get along with everyone that you meet in life. You don't just vibe together, and that's the way it is. But in order to do effective work and to get to where you need to be, it's very important that you have to have that good relationship with your counsellor. If you don't have it, it's probably not going to work. So, and I, similarly, I've had clients who have maybe only done 1 or 2 sessions, and for whatever reason, they don't come back again, and that's okay. I understand that. And if you are in, if you have engaged with counselling, whether it's through your GP or you've been referred or you've went for private counselling, if you're not feeling it or you feel like you're not been heard or understood, that's okay. It doesn't mean that it's anything that you've done wrong. You're not doing anything wrong at all. But just, flag it up. Just say, listen, I'm going to maybe put a pin in this and come back at another time or whatever. Your counsellor will not take it personally if you ghost them. Okay, I have ghosted people in the past, and it's just one of those things. But try again. Okay, so if you're in an agency, so maybe the likes of PIPS or maybe Women's Aid or somewhere where you're accessing counselling, where there's like there's a large group of counsellors all working in the one building. You can't ask to be referred to someone else to change around. So do that, and don't be afraid to do that. Because it's better doing that and getting the result you want than just leaving it and saying, oh, this doesn't work for me. Because it will work for you once you get the right person. So that's what I do. Be heard therapy. Bada bing. And it is a weird kind of, and it's not weird. Some people find it strange. Oh, a lot of people do say whenever they hear that I do that, oh, you'd be a great counsellor. You'd just tell everybody to fuck up. That's not true, right? That's not how it works. The two things are completely separate. The two things are very, very different. And I'm not the same person on Instagram or TikTok as I am in this situation here, where I'm sitting in this wee room. So that's nothing that you ever need to be afraid of. So any counsellor that you work with anywhere, whenever they're in the room with you, they're 100% genuine, non-judgmental, and they're there to walk beside you in whatever journey you're going on and help you understand yourself and to get to where you need to be for you. So, no, I don't tell people to fuck up. I just listen. So there you go. So that's the sensible part over. So that's the crack. It's hard to know. I used to be able to do this really well. I used to be able to chat for ages and do live videos and stupid things like that where I would just literally talk. To be fair, there might have been alcohol involved. So obviously no alcohol involved today. But that's where I'm at with the questions and stuff. And I suppose I've been trapping on here for 25 minutes. So I may just put this out as a wee small sort of thank you, a wee bonus pod, I think is what the guys call it. By the way, did you see Kieran Bartlett's back? He's back with a movie podcast called Back to the Features. Lovely little saucy little play on words. It was released today, so I might have a wee listen to that later on. So I'm going to leave it there. Those were the questions. That's the crack. I'm just saying thank you very much. I really appreciate the listens and stuff like that. If you could be so good and be so lovely as to follow the podcast on Spotify or Apple or YouTube or all three, if that's what you're into, that would help big time as well. Stay tuned. Amanda will be back, don't worry. We'll be having more guests and stuff like that as well. Hopefully we'll be able to get a guest in when me and Amanda are both on, because I would love to see her taking the hand out of the likes of maybe Shane Todd or Mickey Bartlett or somebody. I think that would be incredibly amusing, and I think she'd be great at it. And she probably knows that herself anyway. She's incredibly conceited and a narcissist. She's not. She's a lovely girl, but she is conceited. No, she's not. So that's the crack. So keep on listening, keep on watching. Thank you very much. I don't even have a muffin with me today. Although I think, to be fair, I probably need to cut back on the muffins, but whatever. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy whatever you get up to. And enjoy it. Peace. Walloper out. I don't know.